Okay, greetings and welcome everyone for joining this early morning meeting. We're not going to go over an hour. So again, thank you for joining and being part of the kitchen cabinet. It's just a colloquial term for like trusted advisors to a specific project. Maybe it might be good because I'm not sure if everyone knows everyone. Just go around and just say who you are, your organization. Very briefly, I'm Lakichi Taifa, Reparation Education Project, and I'll just call on you as I see you on my screen. Robin Prouty, who are you?
Okay, sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin Prouty. I am the founder and executive director of the Descendants of the St. Louis University Enslaved, based here in St. Louis. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Robert Stubblefield.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert Stubblefield. I am representing the Bethesda African Cemetery Coalition, where I serve as chair of the Reparations Committee, and I'm located in Montgomery County, Maryland, aka unceded Piscataway land.
All right, now, Adjoa Ayatoro.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Aju Ayatoro. I am active. I'm a founding member of NCOBRA and am active with the NCOBRA and DC chapter. And I am also very active in past leadership of the National Council of Black Lawyers. And Robin, we need to get together. I am from St. Louis and I went to St. Louis U School of Law. So Robin, let's connect that sometime after this meeting.
Let's do it. I believe we've spoken before too.
I think so too, but I wasn't sure because my memory ain't the greatest, but
Okay, let's definitely do that.
okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Miranda Alexandria.
Hi, everyone. Miranda Alexandria from the Chicago October chapter, the female co-chair, and I'm just so happy to be here with you all this morning.
Okay, thank you, my sister. Tori White Garrison.
Morning, everyone. I am Tori. I am from Asheville, North Carolina, and I am the executive director of RSAA in Asheville.
Boy, I didn't press yeah, I did press record. Okay, great. Jumoke Ife Tori. Jumoke?
Greetings. My name is Jumoke Fetayo. Serve as senior advisor to First Repair, South Region coordinator. Also work with Reparations United and Reparations Now podcast.
Okay, thank you. Aforiwa.
Greetings. My name is Oforiwa Idawa, and I'm online business manager for Reparation Education Project. Been working with Mom and Kichi for about a little over 5 years or more.
More than that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm so glad that you could join. Okay, so Robin, if you can put up the first on the agenda is budget expenses and fundraising. I wanted to start with that. And if you can put that the SOZI statement of work on the screen.
Okay, so you want the budget or the statement of work first?
I think it's called statement of work first.
Okay.
Because that was just before the budget, yeah. But all this is part of this budget expenses fundraising category.
All right, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see that? Let me get to the statement of work. Thought that I had that up. Can you guys see
Okay,
my
that was the
screen?
budget. I
Right,
think
no,
there's
I got
okay.
it up. Okay, statement of work right here. Okay.
Okay, good. So I wanted to start with this because I wanted to make sure our folk had an appreciation for the cost of this endeavor, I guess you could say, which really started, the idea really started back in the spring of last year, or the summer. But because we wanted to make sure that all of the I's were dotted and T's were crossed in terms of logistics and things along those lines. And because it is very time consuming to deal with a lot of those logistics issues, I decided the best way to really pull this off was to have a consultant agency to do all of that. I've worked with them before in the past, and actually this idea for this rally came from another event with another group that I was associated with, that totally went off 100% seamlessly, allowing the organizers to focus on program and things along those lines, while this consultant agency did all the legwork and the logistics. So I just want to give a feel for that. Their contract dates were November 1st through December 1st, and then they had other projects. So there's a break, and we're in their break period right now, unfortunately, but it was from March through the end of May. And the services were overall event project management, technical coordination, vendor management. Their standard practice is to engage vendors where the dollars can go back to communities the projects are serving, ensure the project operates with intention, clear strategic goals, participate in status calls, etc. Roll it up a little bit more. Creative strategy, providing a cohesive vision of the event, overall event technical coordination. I could that repeated that. Secure all event vendors, handle all event logistics, including securing and managing contracts for all production equipment and labor, budget and scope management, event design, integrations, technical features, interactivity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Sound checks, pre-production needs, day of execution of a day of production, intellectual property, all that kind of stuff. Is scroll up, that might be the end of that part, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, here we go. So starting in November, they had the soft project kickoff, which basically dealt with pre-production work, securing permits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. February, which we're in now, 1 to 2 touch base meetings, have a meeting with them next week. Actually, March, continue work on permits and licensing, the LED screen, all this techie stuff, March and April. And all that also includes, security, medical stuff that you require when you're doing a big event. Necessarily need, like badges. I want to take that line item off for stuff that we can do ourselves because this is a very expensive undertaking. Okay, keep going. So upon signing, of course, we had no funds at that time. So Reparation Education Project put in a loan for $10,000. And if we have not garnered um, funds for our budget, that $10,000 will just be not a loan, but it'll just be given. But right now it's considered a loan. Wait, no, don't go yet. Scroll back for a moment. This is just their fee. This isn't the expenses part. So their fee, the next part of their fee, $10,000 is due in March, the next one in April, and then in May, their fee. Okay, but the total, which is the total budget that includes the expenses and the like, is scrolled up some more so we can see $91,000, 250, 91,000. Okay, so now, Robin, if you can go to the SOCI budget so we can see just where those fees, what the are, if you can put
Okay.
the other thing on the screen.
Well,
And I want to open up for questions after you see their part of their budget in a moment.
okay. Oh, that's the structure. Let me get your
Yeah,
budget.
not that one yet.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay. Can you see that? Can you guys see
Yeah, I
the
can see. Can you all see? I don't know if you can make it a little bit bigger.
This is big. Let me see. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's not the top though.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Okay, so draft budget. Let me get it down so that this is as big as this.
Okay, so the venue overhead, permits and licenses, diagram with generated stage, tent permits, etc., $500. Main stage, staging and ramp, 15,000. 500 includes production design and experience. So you can see it on here. It's this technical stuff. The only thing I know what it is chairs and minimum tables. We didn't need merchandise for swag. Um, yeah, let's keep going. I did not ask for, I know I'll probably be ASL. I'm just trying to keep stuff down to a minimum. Um, Security MMS, general liability insurance. So anyway, that's where this figure, other part of this figure came from. I want to open it up for questions right now on this part before we move on to fundraising. And if you want to take it off the screen so we can see each other, unless
Okay,
it's easier to, yeah.
there you go. Stop share.
And Jam is joined. Welcome, Jam. So does anybody have any questions so far? And you're on mute, Miss Adjua, senior citizen.
Yeah, great.
How dare you? I had my hand up, and Keith, you need to.
Oh, I'm
somebody
sorry.
needs to
Yeah,
watch.
what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, these hands, the colors. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. But okay. So I have two things. One, you said you were taking the badges off because to save costs, and we can do it. What I saw was $500. I don't think it's worth taking $500 off to save money. Particularly if someone else can do it, because to say we can do it, I don't know who the we is. But I just think I was raised with penny wise and pound foolish. That's effort. And so $500, I'm not sure it's worth it. The second thing is, you said you're not going to deal with ASL. Well, there's a large population of Black folk who can't hear. And I just think that, again, I don't know the cost of ASL, but I think my suggestion would be to get the cost of it and then float it as a special sponsorship for some maybe people at Gallaudet or other places might be willing to contribute to make that work, or somebody may donate it in terms of like, I'm using Gallaudet because it's the only one I know. Because I don't think we want to start off with this national rally, and a significant portion of our population, if they come, will only be able to just be a part of it, but not really hear what's going on.
Thank you, Audra. I'll definitely find out the cost because I don't know.
Yeah, and I'd be willing, ma'am, I'd be willing to help you draft a outreach piece to see if we can get that sponsored. If you need, I mean, you don't have to use me by any means,
Yeah,
but
no. I
I'm
hear
willing
you.
to
Yeah.
help do that once you get the cost.
Yeah. And it's like right now, it's like I'm looking at every single penny and seeing what's not coming in. What is it? But I
Right,
got
but
this down, and thank you, and I appreciate it. I felt bad even saying what I said, but
no,
I'm
yeah.
trying to be very transparent. So I see Joyce's hand. But Baba, you okay?
Oh yeah, I just wasn't clear with what was just up on the screen. I saw a $50,000 budget and I saw a 91,000 budget total expenses. I wasn't clear on what was
Yeah,
the total expense for the agency for
yeah,
SOS.
thank you. The agency fee is $50,000, give or take. This is like estimated because anyway, and the 91,000 is the total budget for the rally only. So the 50 minus the 91 minus the 50 is the expenses that you saw on this thing that came on the screenshot. Okay, so they itemize their specific fee, okay, and payment and all like that. And some of these are estimates also. Okay, so that's why it's called, it's an estimated budget. But that's what the estimated sum comes up to be in total, 91,250.
So in total, meaning they're 50,000 plus the total, so
Yes,
it's 91,000 total,
co-
including the 50,000.
correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, and welcome, Brenda. Okay, so I want to go on because I'm looking at the time, but I wanted to give you all a flavor of all that. Actually, I want to pull up, well, maybe I can do this myself, pull up the website, the web page. Actually, just to be sure, Robin, if you can do that, it's let me put it in the chat. Hold on.
Okay. No, or you could just tell me and
That
I
way
can,
we can,
yeah.
gosh, I don't know what I've done now. Hold on. I have to go back to Zoom. Uh, it's it's just www.national
Mm-hmm.
rep wait a minute.
What is the
National
website?
Reparations Network.org.
Okay.
National
Okay,
Reparations.
.org. Okay, you want me to share? Okay.
Yes, please.
National Reparations Network.
Network.org.
Okay.
And I just put it in the chat. Everyone should have seen it anyway.
Okay. And I will share my screen real quick. Let me go here. Go back.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. So can I scroll it? Am I the one who can scroll?
No, that's me.
Okay, well then scroll. Yeah.
Okay.
Just scroll. You all, I'm sure I've seen this. This is what I want to show. Just scroll up some more.
This thing over. I'm trying to get this thing out of here.
Oh,
I am so
whatever
sorry.
that thing was, it's okay.
Okay, let me get it back. Hold on. Sorry. Me and this
Okay.
Mac, I can't stand my Mac. Oh, you said National
National
Reparation.
Reparations Network.
National. Sorry about that. Reparations. Okay, here we go.
.org.
Boom. All right. So we're gonna scroll up. Okay.
Keep going. Okay, so go to sponsor. Okay, so what we have done, everyone probably should have seen this, but I'm just going to, okay, stop right here. Um, to try to jumpstart fundraising on this, we have sponsors and we have ads. We have currently a Black History Month 25% discount on ads, which is a huge discount. Scroll up some more for the month of February. For example, a full-page ad is normally $2,000. It's discounted to $1,500. Half page is normally $1,000. It's discounted to $750. A quarter page, normally $500, is discounted to $375. And shout outs, which are two sentences, discounted to $75 dollars, 100% tax deductible. These are ads in the historic commemorative National Reparations Journal. Go down further to sponsorship levels. Um, we have different levels. A presenting sponsor, Queen Mother Moore, Justice Champion sponsor, $50,000. John Conyers, Sheila Jackson Lee Equity Advocate sponsor, 25,000. Reparations Ray Jenkins Community Partner, 10,000. And Mario Badelli, Dorothy Lewis Movement Supporter, 5,000. Belinda Royal Kelly House Patron, 2,500. All those who signed, endorsed the rally on the website, of which there are, all the names are there, are automatically part of the Malcolm X, Hodge, Malik Shabazz. Oh, we have, for people who don't know who some of these people are, they're there, but they're already part of that. I just want to say that. The revenue to date, the National Reparations Network for the rally received a $50,000 grant from Decolonizing Wealth Project. When that grant was announced in September, that's when I knew that we could go forward with this. We just had to raise the 40, about half more of that, okay? We received a again, the $10,000 loan from Reparation Education Project, I brought it to 60,000, even though that's a loan, but it might not be. We have a pledge from the IF Foundation for $10,000 sponsorship at the Reparations Ray Jenkins Community Partner sponsor. My brain, that brings it to, it says 50,000. Well, we had a fiscal agency fee. Reparation Education Project did not serve as the fiscal sponsor for the Decolonizing Wealth grant. Okay, that was a separate sponsor. Appeal Incorporated is the fiscal sponsor for that. But Reparation Education Project is the fiscal sponsor going forward after that grant, of which REP is not taking any agency fiscal sponsorship agency fee. But the fiscal sponsor that we originally had is taking a 10% fee from that 50,000. So that wasn't a full 50,000. So I said $10,000 pledge from IF Foundation. We are awaiting decision from Liberation Ventures as to what type, if any, they can give to support for the rally. We have appealed to them and met with them. And I think that there will be some type of sponsorship, but we have not been informed of what that will be at this time. We received a $1,000 donation from Reparations for Slavery. That's an allied organization. It was not designated for an ad or any other kind of sponsorship. It was just a donation to the rally. We received a $1,000 ad from the descendants of enslaved communities at the University of Virginia. And that half-page ad came before we announced our Black History Month 25% special. So since they were the first and so far only entity to place an ad, I told them that rather than reimbursing their money or whatever, we would just bump their half-page ad to a full-page ad, and only dealt with one organization, so that was fine. And that is all of the revenue. Oh, we got a $25 donation as well for the rally. So far, that's the only revenue. That's all the revenue we have right now. Yes, yeah. So we need to jumpstart getting more sponsorships or revenue and all of the above. The expenses in the budget does not include talent. I want to make that really clear. It doesn't include talent. So that's additional fundraising or people volunteering, but we're kind of working on that on another angle, but it does not include talent. Before I open that part off for questions, I want Robin to get the programmatic structure ready, but let's put us all, oh, you got it ready. Now let me open up for questions first before we go to this. So can we bring us back to everybody, seeing everybody? Okay, so questions or comments with respect to revenue? Ajua, and come on off of mute.
I'm gonna stop putting my hand up because you don't see hand.
Oh, I don't see you're right, I don't see it. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No, that's okay. I just do what I did. Two things. One, Belinda Royale is 2 L's.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you very
it's 2
much.
L's.
I'll make sure we get that changed.
Yeah, and the other thing is we pledged for the reparations research project $200, and then I'll make another personal pledge. I know that's not nowhere near what you need in terms what we need in terms of 41,000, but I just wanted to let you know
Oh, thank you.
we
Okay,
decided.
I'll put that under a pledge.
Yeah,
Okay.
we pledged $200 that hopefully you'll get next week. I have to send it to Ann, and then I have to look at my little bank account and I'll make a personal pledge.
Okay.
Maybe an
Okay.
ad.
Okay, great. Thank you. So we're chipping away at this cost, bit by bit. Any other questions? Oh, I see a raised hand now. Chicago, Miranda.
Yes. Hey, just wanted to know, maybe you mentioned it, but I might have missed it. The total amount that has been raised thus far.
honestly, I didn't add it up, so let me do that right now. 50,000, 10,000, I'm including pledges. 1,200, 25, 1,000, and I don't know whether I'm including, I don't know how you include the $10,000 loan, which will probably end up being a gift. You don't include it, Audra? Okay,
I wouldn't include
okay,
the loan as money raised. I would, if the loan converts to actually that's what you're giving, then that's raised. But you're trying to get somebody to actually give you that us that 10,000.
yeah. That's 52,035. No, that can't be right.
Mm-mm.
Now, hold on. I didn't add that up right. 150 plus 10 plus 1 plus 1 plus 200 plus 25. 62,225. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
62. I'm sorry. Said
$62,225.
Okay.
But actually, that 50,000 isn't a total 50,000 because the fiscal agent took 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
okay.
Audra.
So they could.
You actually count it in your money revenue, then in your deduction from revenue, you deduct the administrative fees. So you actually do
Okay.
count the full 50,000 in terms of money raised. Then you have
Right.
a category for expenses, and the administrative fee comes out of that.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, I want to move on. So I'm just giving you all a kind of like a bird's eye view of what's there. If we can we want to go to the part of the agenda that deals with the programmatic structure. Oh, before I do this, I'm sorry, logistics, Valley, we have nothing on the screen for this. I'm going to talk through this. Logistics, this is on the agenda, Valley location, hotel block, flight, train, bus. The Valley will either be at Freedom Plaza or at Landsberg Park. I have been reluctant to actually announce the exact location of the Valley until I have a signed contract. I do not have that yet with Plan A, which is Freedom Plaza. The application went in November. We have not heard that the date was taken, but we have not been able to advance to the next level where they deal with the schematic drawings and all that kind of stuff. Freedom Plaza is under the control of the federal government. The administration changed in January. I don't know whether the reason for this holdup is because of the change in administration. This is called the National Reparations Rally. We just don't know. So I went on with the Plan B. I went on with the Plan B because SOZI, the agency, is really their next set of work really starts up in March, but they've been keeping me posted on the application that they put into Freedom Plaza. There's a local park called Landsberg Park that is operated under the auspices of DC. We have an application into that which has been approved. That's Plan B. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say, but I've got to have a drop dead date as to when we determine exactly where we're going to be. So if anybody has any recommendations for that. Oh, and I see Audra has her hand raised.
And Kichi, can you describe Landsberg Park for us so that people who aren't familiar will know what you're talking about and include its accessibility to public transportation?
Yeah, okay. So it's a park in Southwest DC that has been used for a number of years as a Pan-African festival for the community. There's a lot of go-go stuff that goes on there as well. It's in a residential neighborhood. It's basically, I consider, more in the cut, as opposed to Freedom Plaza, which is very open to anybody walking down the street or anything along those lines. Actually, Afara, are you still on the thing? Because we have pictures and all like that that we can share. I can send that out in an email to folk. They have a stage that's already there, already erected, so we would not have to erect a stage like we would have to do at Freedom Plaza. It's
I'm here.
residential, so it's residential parking. The metro is a couple of blocks away, maybe 4 blocks away. Before, I think you were going to talk. What were you going to say?
No, I was just letting you know that I was here.
Okay. One benefit of Landsberg is that we could have vendors that can sell things, and that brings more to a festival atmosphere. And we could have vendors that sell food. On Freedom Plaza, you can have tables there, but no one can sell anything. The food situation would be solved by right outside of the Freedom Plaza. There are food trucks with all different kind of whatever you might want. So that would be part of that. So there are pros and cons to each of the locations. Yeah. And we can send photos around an email.
And Keisha,
Any other questions?
Yeah, and Keisha, how does, I guess my thought is, if we're going to start really pushing advertising for the rally, what, in your experience and others' experience who have pulled these kinds of things off, is the drop dead date by which we should have a place? Does that place matter? Can we advertise strongly without a place? I don't know. I'm just asking those, but I think those are questions that need to be answered to decide what's the drop dead date that we decide which location.
Okay, so in my mind, March 1st is the drop dead date. For a national audience, they don't need to know exactly where it's going to be. But for the local DC audience, we absolutely do. And a big part of this is the local DC community, okay? And to be able to print up the little palm cards and all like that, you need to put around the city, you need to have a location. And I'm saying March 1st should be the drop dead date for that. Do anyone agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
Okay. SOSI is working on identifying one or more hotels so we can get a block for people coming in from out of town. Nothing will be happening at the hotel, at any hotel. So it's not a situation where everyone has to be centralized. Our date is not an ideal date, i.e. approaching spring and approaching summer for any type of event that's going to require a hotel, because the prices rise dramatically as it already is doing. So DC hotels are just kind of totally off the charts financially. So they're really looking in Virginia, Northern Virginia. If folk are coming in from Reagan DCA Airport, that would be convenient, but I wanted them to give a couple of different options for people, but we have not solidified that as of yet. I understand there are several buses that are going to be coming in, so they are supposed to be identifying a place where buses can, park. So are there any questions on that before we move on?
I had a quick question. I was looking at Landsberg Park and everything on the map. How far are the hotels and accommodations from the park? Just in case that is one of the choices.
Yeah, well, it depends on what hotel people use. It's in the southwest area, but in the neighborhood part of the southwest area, but there are hotels around there, but they're very expensive because that's near the waterfront, which is a hugely gentrified area. If the hotel is in Virginia, it's really not that far because it's closer to the bridge, that goes from DC to Virginia. Yeah, Brenda, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I did check the two hotels. One is the Eaton at 12th and K, and also the Cameron, which is on Second Street on the southwest side off of South Capitol Street, and just still waiting for an answer. It's 15 rooms, you said you need approximately, because that was the last thing they had asked me, how many rooms.
Okay,
Was that
so yeah,
was 15?
yeah, but we don't have a price for them, right? Yeah.
Well, and hopefully they will now give me a price. It's been about 3 or 4 days ago that I gave them the number.
Okay. Audra, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, when NCBL has had their conferences here, we had success in getting fairly, and that's been years ago, but fairly reasonable rates in Maryland, Silver Spring. The other thing would be looking at bed and breakfasts in the area could be a resource. They're cheaper than big hotels. And I think Brenda made the point that if you give the hotel how many rooms you want to block, that they'll give you a better rate. Um, but I would suggest looking at Maryland. That's why I think it's important that, and you said the park is about 3 or 4 blocks, 4 blocks, I think you said, from Metro, because that's an easy way. If you get a hotel that's close to, or bed and breakfast is close to a Metro, then the park, both the park and of course we know Freedom Plaza is close. The Metro from Freedom Plaza, I take it all the time, it's about 3 blocks to walk down to Freedom Plaza. So I think making sure you get hotels that are close to or bed and breakfasts that give people access to Metro would help with the transport between.
And
Right. Absolutely.
excuse me, I want to say that it is parking. I've gone into a couple of events and been able to park on the street.
Yeah, but what we're talking about, people coming from out of town. They're not, many of them aren't going to have cars. I don't
Okay,
have
they
a
all
car.
coming on the
I
bus.
don't have a car and I live in the area. And so the reason I say making sure we're close to Metro is it's accessible for
Oh,
everybody,
I agree.
whether you're
Yeah.
parking or whether you're public transport.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, so again, so see, I'm going to really ask them, and maybe we shouldn't do a block. I mean, I don't know, to just provide just a list and let people pick and choose also. But I did want to have a couple of options, maybe in Maryland or Virginia or in
But
DC
in Keisha,
with a
I'm
block of
sorry,
rooms.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You get a cheaper rate when you do a block.
No,
That's the
I
only
know
reason.
that. I know,
Yeah.
but I don't want to confine everybody. Some people might want to just be in DC as
That's
opposed
fine.
to,
That's
yeah, yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
but you're
wanted
giving
them to
them an
give a couple of
option.
blocks. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just giving them a couple of blocks and then you can give them a list. Yeah.
Right, gotcha. I want to move on because we got about 17 more minutes. Um, what we have on the screen now is really the crux of the conversations I had with each of you all individually, our little 20-minute conversations, and it was getting feedback and suggestions, and deletions, and all like that for the vision that I have for programmatic structure for the rally. Time is 11 to 5. Again, I said location Freedom Plaza or Lansford Park. Reparations Ancestral Altar. We have a group here called Adasi African Diasporic Ancestral Commemoration Institute that do altars. I did talk to Brother Jumoke because I know Jumoke is like the reparations altar curator, I guess you could say. And I don't know well, we can talk about that, Jumoke, because I know you have a number of different events going on that day as to whether you're going to even be here, but we have that. I have not secured the DJ, but I might probably thinking about using DJ One Love, but I'll talk to my DC folk. I've used him before. So preliminaries, like starting right at 11 o'clock, you know, reparations videos, like on the jumbo screen, reparations hip hop anthem, AEO, time for reparations, just different things on the screen. 11:30, we have an official beginning with drummers, Malcolm X drummers, libation, and invocation. Reverend Lamar is the pastor of Metropolitan AME Church, which just got that phenomenal ruling against the Proud Boys, having the church profit from any advertising that Proud Boys uses, et cetera, as a result of them burning down the Black Lives Matter sign on the church lawn several years ago. None of these are confirmed. These are just names I've put down. Remarks, the sponsor of HR 40, S40, the author of the DC bill. For each of these areas, well, Keenan Keller is, I'm not sure if he's left the Hill yet. If he hasn't, he's about to, but he's been involved ever since almost the beginning, not quite the beginning, with Congressman Conyers with HR 40. And I would just rely on him to be the lead for if Congress members or their staff or whatever can be there to make remarks. Okay, the remainder of the day from noon to 4 will be a mixture of speakers, entertainment, featured guests. The movement will be divided into 10 cohorts, 10, 11, or 12. I think I have 11 down here, but I just said 10. Cohorts are categories who will approach the stage when their cohort is called and flank the speaker or speakers representing the cohort. The MCs will announce the groups in the cohort, and the designated speakers will make a 2-minute statement. Each cohort will have a lead who, in addition to themselves, will help determine who else in the cohort, if any, will make a 2-minute statement, generally be responsible for making sure the group is together to go to the stage at their designated time. Before I go on, let me just, before we go on, does anyone have any questions so far? And I can't see hands. Yeah, I can see hands, no hands. Okay. So the cohorts are, okay, legacy organizations, and this is just some examples of what I mean by legacy organizations, because sometimes people say legacy, and the only legacy organization people know of or can think of is NCOBRA. But there were a lot of groups that were around back then, almost from the beginning of HR 40 and before HR 40 was first introduced, that are still active today. And I just jotted some of them down just so that we know that there are more legacy organizations that are out there. And I suggested, each one of these, I suggested a lead. I suggested Watala Youssef as lead for that, as he was around in Cobra. He's familiar with African People's Socialist Party. He's familiar with Black United Front. He's familiar with Million Man March and December 12th, Nation of Islam, and all like that. Okay, the next cohort is state commissions or task forces. There are 4: California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland that have statewide task forces. I suggested the lead be Ray Wimbush, who is a member of the Maryland State Commission task force. These are just suggested leads. Okay, let me keep going. Local commissions or task forces, there's so many of them, I didn't even list any of them. Suggested lead Robin Ruth Simmons. So of course, we all know that she is the mover and shaker on local commissions and task forces. Reparation organizations post 2016. It might be post 20. Got to figure out what our cutoff point is going to be. I suggested Cam Howard. He's pretty much familiar with many of the organizations that have come up since then. A category of descendant initiatives, such as GU 272, Descendants of St. Louis University Enslaved, Bethesda African Cemetery, Coalition Lakeland, et cetera, et cetera. I suggested the lead for that being Robin Prouty, who's on the line right here now as well. Another cohort, ally organizations. These are just suggested organizations. I might be more, but these were some of the ones that came to mind. They're Japanese American, white, Native groups, and I suggested Lee Kathy Masaoka, who's with Nikkei Progressives. Legal organizations, NCBL, National Bar Association, Thurgood Marshall, Reparations Bar Association, African American Legal Network. I suggested Ajuayo Toro being the lead for that, one of our foremost legal experts in the reparations movement. Faith communities, I suggested lead Reverend Joanne Braxton, who's been very much a part of the reparations movement and knowledgeable about many of the groups. Civil rights, liberties, human rights, these are like these large organizations like NAACP, ACLU, Human Rights Watch, National Action Network, etc. I included in there a Permanent Forum People of African Descent. I suggested lead Hillary Shelton, who's been with the NAACP for ages and from day one has moved NAACP into the realm of supporting reparations. Youth mobilization, Get Free, Hip Hop Caucus, and Cobra Youth Commission, etc. I suggested lead Sister Lily X, who is in Cobra, the lead co-chair of Incobra's Youth Commission. And then philanthropy, funders, corporate, Decolonizing Wealth, Liberation Ventures, IF, Borealis, Ben and Jerry's, Lush, blah, blah, blah. So I suggested lead Timmy. Timmy, they already pledged $10,000 towards this project, and she's the executive director of the IF Foundation. IF is called IF, a Foundation for Radical Possibilities. Yeah. Well, before we go on, questions, comments, discussion. Roll it back up. Okay, I see something from Jam. Oh, I haven't been looking at the chat.
Okay, there was two things I was gonna say. So the first one was a few months ago I met this Black woman bishop, and she actually donated to NBCI Trust once. She's working on a reparations initiative in Georgia, and in Athens, and they gave out like $10,000 to different families for reparative justice. But I can't remember her name, but I can look her up, and she might be really good to include.
Okay.
And then I also wanted to uplift that there is a Washington interfaith faith leader organization, and they have been working to push the
Yes.
DC government to do right by the community. And one of the people involved is Reverend William Lamar from Metropolitan AME. So he might be good also to include either under the faith part or under the different speakers.
Yes, Jam, you're breaking up.
I'm sorry. Did you hear any of the last part I said?
Yeah, we ended with Lamar, Reverend Lamar and the Interfaith Coalition, of which, yes, I didn't put any of the organizations in, but there's actually a Interfaith Reparations Coalition as well.
Okay, so the
So
part
yes,
with
right now this was just bare bones.
okay, so
Go
the
on.
part where I think I was breaking up with Reverend Lamar was he could either go under the faith based or as a part of the speakers in another area. And Metropolitan AME just won that lawsuit against the Proud Boys where we own their name. And so I think it would be interesting to include in some kind of way with as a local church and
Yeah,
organization.
you might have come in a bit late. I do have Reverend Lamar down as doing the invocation at the beginning,
Oh, okay, yeah,
but
I
he
missed
will
that.
be doing much
Thank
more. But
you.
I do have him. He's at the top of the page here.
Okay, sorry, I
But
missed
thank
it.
you for that. And all this will be flushed out. This is just a quick and dirty. Hold on, don't go. You're going too fast, Robin. Audra, you have your hand up. Audra?
Don't forget Reverend Ben Chavis. He was the head of the NAACP when we pushed and the NAACP endorsed, this was even before Hillary. So I think that, and he's no longer active as a minister or the NAACP, but I do think we should not forget him and put him in some slot because of his historic role of getting the NAACP with the help, of course, of Ray Jenkins and others to endorse and support reparations.
Yeah, absolutely. And the names that are there are just suggested leads. I don't know if I would have him be a lead to.
No, I'm just putting
organize it.
wherever you want to put him. I'm just saying
Gotcha.
we shouldn't forget him. That's all. I don't have a place where he
Absolutely.
should be, but he played a very significant role even before Hillary.
Okay, and I need to hurry up because I know Robin has another Zoom meeting, and let's just roll up some more. And then after she leaves, we can continue discussing. Oh, wait a minute. No, don't roll up. Keep going. Let me just go real quick and then we'll go discussion. Also, two special presentations, one on DC history on reparations, a DC Compensated Emancipation Act, and one on the Malcolm X Centennial commemoration, because this rally is also commemorating the 100th anniversary of the birth of Malcolm X. Keep going. Suggested keynote headliners, Erica Alexander, Michael Eric Dyson, and Danny Glover. There are a whole lot of other names that came forth as well, but I just put those three down right now. We'll discuss later. We just want to go through we're almost at the end of this. Entertainment intermixed throughout the day, so there won't be just all those speakers one after another, one after another. There'll be break periods, there'll be entertainment. So the entertainment that I just recommended is the group Alas Rascast that did AEO, it's Educate, Organize, and the Reparation Hip Hop Anthem. That's the only one that is not in DC. Okay. All the other ones are DC local talent. Maimuna Youssef, also known as Mumu Fresh. She did a phenomenal reparation song. Most of us don't even know it, but she did. Then our wonderful local talent that we always have, Ayana Gregory, who's the daughter of Dick Gregory, vocalist Afi Soul, who's the daughter of Kwame Afo, who was one of the founders of Incoba, Brother Kaba, who's on the radio, and he's a vocalist, and Lucy Murphy, who's just a phenomenal multi-ethnic, whatever singer, international type singer. We're going to be connecting with Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream to do giveaways throughout the day. Black Flower Mart, this our fundraising part, and I can talk about that later. And we're going to have, it's our media sponsor, WPFW FM Radio and Washington Informer newspaper. And as Audra mentioned about Ben Chavis, I want to include the, I forgot what it's called, his news service, the African American, I forgot what the news service is called. But I just want to, Robin, thank you for putting that on. We're going to continue discussion. And we technically have 3 minutes, but for those who can stay, we can continue. So let me just open it up. That's the vision thus far. There are other, like when Audra mentioned Ben Chavis, or there lots of other names came up, speakers, other speakers. And when I say speakers, we're not talking about speeches. We're talking about 5 minutes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because this is a moving and, type of situation. So I see something in the chat. Okay. Black woman. Okay, so let me open it up for discussion right now. Any more questions, comments, or discussion? Oh, Jamoke, I see your hand.
Yes. I was trying to figure out how to say this, but would NARC necessarily be considered a legacy organization? Because we're talking 2015, 2016. Would you consider NARC really a legacy organization? Just a question.
Well, that's where you decide where you want to put the cutoff. I put for the new organizations post 2016. NARC was founded in 2015. I don't personally consider them a legacy organization, but it seems like the media or whoever NARC considers itself, I don't know. So that's why I included that in there. And maybe it's because many of the people who, I mean, I don't know. I see Audra shaking her head vehemently. We do have a representative from NARC on the screen, so she can, Jam, you can speak to that if you want, but I'll let Audra speak first since she raised her hand.
Yeah, this is not at all any put down of NARC, but I don't think it's a legacy organization. Legacy to me are and maybe and Kishi, when she listed them, didn't consider this, but if you look at our handbook that Nkichi helped edit, we dealt with the NARC as a new organization, not new in that sense of now, but NARC isn't legacy. It was built after the period where in CBL at least, or in COBRA would feel would be legacy. It's important, and COBRA is a part of NARC. It was one of the founding organizations of NARC, but I don't think it's a legacy organization.
So Tori, before I go to you, because I think you're probably going to address another subject, Jam, can you speak to NARC one way or the other with respect to?
I
usually
mean,
see.
I don't know. It depends on the like y'all said, where y'all do the cutoff. It I can say that it's 2025, so that's at least 10 years. And in the media's eyes, most of the organizations that they see now were founded in 2020, so or afterwards, and so they're viewing NARC as a legacy organization in terms of the last decade, and in terms of um in addition to all of the other organizations that came before it, maintaining significance concerning HR 40 and those sorts of things. But it's up to y'all on how you want to address it.
So I don't want to make that decision right here at this thing, but I would note that this is an issue that we need to deal with. Robert, I saw your mouth moving, but you
I
go
have,
on mute, so I don't know if you were trying to say something.
No, I was yawning.
Oh, no, okay. Okay, it's all good.
okay, I did
So
have another
we're gonna put
comment.
a pin. Oh, Jim, okay,
Okay.
okay. If it's on this,
Yeah,
if it's on this issue dealing with NARC,
no, I'm finished with NARC.
yes? Okay, but then
Can
hold
you
on,
hear me?
because Tori had her hand up.
Okay.
Yeah, Jumoke, can you hold on one moment if you're addressing a different subject? Because
Okay.
Tori had her hand up first, okay?
I got
Okay,
you.
so I'm gonna put a pin in NARC and we'll get back to that issue. And I don't care one way or the other, okay? But yeah, so,
I don't think
okay,
it's
Tori.
worth arguing about Nkichi or discussing. I think they've made a strong contribution, so you can decide.
Oh, Lord, no, don't do that to me,
Well, I'm just saying, I'm like with Jamoke. I don't think it's a big deal. I
Okay,
think that's what Jan was saying, Jamoke saying, I'm saying. We can argue
okay,
years or whatever, but I think a decision can just be made and it's fine, whichever way it goes.
okay. Tori?
Yeah, so I can't remember in detail all the line items in the proposed budget, but I think I remember that we did not have the possible music in there as a line item, those entertainers. And
Right,
so
did not.
I'm curious if we go ahead and think about what that amount could be. So when you're talking to individuals, we kind of know where we need to stay within, and we can know how much additional money needs to be raised for that.
Okay, so you're right, talent was not included in there, which is why on my proposal, 9/10 of the talent is local, which doesn't mean we don't pay them. I mean, I'm not saying that, but we're not dealing with transportation and all like that. The one that is that's not local, that I think it's really important for them to be there. Myself and a couple of people are working on another funding aspect separate and apart for this, that will pay for them to come from the different areas where they are and do this. Now, my understanding is that they probably won't charge for their services. This is like transportation. That's my understanding, but I could be wrong with that. But um, yeah, for those who were at Evanston's the December event where there was the unveiling of the Agitate, Educate, Organize, they were there. Though that's the group I'm talking about. And the same one group that did the Reparations Hip Hop anthem. So I try to decompartmentalize from that 91,000 budget with another entity that is hopefully will come through to be able to bring them there. And the $10,000 that I loaned to jump start this process, or part of it, I might be, I'm hoping we'll surpass that 91,000 goal, but that's not a guarantee. But thank you, Tori, for raising that. And yeah, so those discussions have just started, and we're putting forth a separate proposal to a separate entity for that. Jamoke?
That's actually a
Jamoke?
good, yeah, I'm here. Yeah, that's
Oh,
actually a good segue to what I was going to raise. Can you hear me
okay.
okay?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. So I just recently had a conversation with Stickman, which is one of the members of Dead Prez. And
Uh-huh.
well, Stickman has his own reparations song, and then they just recently recorded a reparations song together just recently. But also, he let me know that on May 19th, they were going to be releasing a song on Malcolm X. So they're open to coming again. Finances is an issue. He wouldn't. I couldn't pin him down to a particular price, but I think we should definitely have a conversation where we entertain bringing in some artists in addition to the DC artists.
Okay, so we do have artist group that we're bringing in addition to the DC. That's the first one, Alas and Vasquez and all like that. So I wasn't aware. First of all, I'm very square. And with baby boomers, I know Dead Prez, of course. I don't know Stickman, but I think that's great. So let's have a conversation off um uh separately on that, Jamoke, so you can tell me more. And also, I do want to be very cautious of overextending the program as well. Be very, very cautious of that and promising too much, and there's not time for um, everything as well. And I also wanted to very much be conscious of using DC talent also as much as possible. So thank you for that, and let's have a conversation offline with respect to that. Okay.
All right.
Are there any other questions or comments? Audra, thank you. I think we give all entertainers a token fee and include that in the budget. Okay. And I need to jump. Okay, good. Uh, okay, will do. Thank you. Oh, no, one more thing. Is there any, I need to mention, because this came up in one of the 20-minute things, why don't I have anybody overtly connected with international or global? I decided that I wanted to just keep this in the US. I just think there's so much going on internationally that I just wanted to just focus this on US. So that's why there's not really a global effort. Of course, many of the organizations here include international or global as part of their advocacy. But this particular national, not international, national reparations rally is focused on US. So with that said, are there any other people that you feel should be part of this kitchen cabinet? And there's several that I want to reach out to who were part of a previous steering committee. Lauren Muddles for one, Ivy Valentine for one, Maynard Henry for one. Those were three in particular, US based, that in the summer gave some suggestions, but just wasn't included as part of this kitchen cabinet. But I want to know if there are any other people that you feel uh, would be good. Like, for example, outreach. People coming in from out of town. I mean, there might be specific things I'm not even thinking of because I'm located here in DC that the committee should know and be aware of as we go through processes like this. And I will raise one more thing. Maybe I shouldn't, but I will. One of the things I did mention to Liberation Ventures is in the past, sometimes they provided stipends, travel stipends, for their grantees to go to various conferences or convenings. That's one thing that I suggested. Of course, that is only grantees of Liberation Ventures, so it doesn't include grantees of other organizations. Um, so I just want to know if there are any other people you feel should join this small inclusive group that I should reach out to. And most of you have the names of everybody. It's not just who's on the screen. There are other people who are part of this group whose names were in the emails that I've been sending out.
Yeah, I know this is a separate event, but were you going to get maybe a little update around the community assembly that's happening on Friday? Or I mean, they are somewhat connected, aren't they?
Okay, it is separate, but they are definitely connected. And let me speak to that in just a moment because I saw Tori asked, we thought about security. Yes, security is part of the SOSI contract. There will be visible security and invisible security. Okay, so is Watella on the line? I thought he was on the line earlier. Watella and I think Audra had to run. She's just gone. DC and Cobra is spearheading the Reparations Leadership Assembly. That's the day before on the 15th. And I'm just looking at who's on here. Most of the people on this list received or should have received an invitation from Watella in terms of being a part of this assembly. It's the day before, it's like from noon to 5, and it is strategizing on the future of the reparations movement, and particularly within the next 24 months, what people going to be doing, coming together with a set of principles to be agreed on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So did you have any specific question, Jamoke, with respect to that?
No.
Okay. Brenda.
Yes, I'd like to be in touch with Lily X regarding outreach to youth in the community, get more youth to attend. So if somebody can send me her information.
Well, also Miranda Alexandria, who is on the line right now, who's also part of, I think you're also part of the Incoba Youth Commission. He's really my co-host with the Reparation Movement Monthly Meetup. It's someone you can connect with as well. I need to mention all of the names that I had on this programmatic structure. None of that is, no, I've reached out to no one. This is, yeah, so Lily X knows nothing even about this right now. So I just want to make sure we're vetting all of this with this committee, okay, before I reach out to anybody about anything. But you could reach out to her generally in terms of youth and all like that. But she doesn't know that I suggested her as a lead for youth stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Do I call you back? Or get in touch with you or you give her my name, my information, or
Yeah.
the sister here? Can you
But
give her?
maybe Miranda could put hers in the chat. I need to mention one thing to also. I'm in the process of applying for a grant right now from DC Humanities DC. Thank you, Brenda, for recommending it. Not specifically for this rally, but it will be for the rally. And I say not specifically for the rally because the timing, the rally is coming up too soon for when the grant will probably come through, if it comes through. And the work has to be very much specifically DC related, and this is a national rally. So I'm got a great thing that I'm coming up with. If we're able to get those funds, I asked for 25,000, it will all go towards rally. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that too. So I got a lot of eggs in the cake batter, I guess you could say, to try to get this thing funded and happening. And the last thing I want to say, the purpose of this rally is not to lobby Congress, okay? Has nothing to do with Trump. It's for the movement to come together and solidify ourselves and in this era of in this era that we have coming up, that's we smack right up with us. It's for us to get together. It just happens to be happening here in Washington, D.C. So
I have one
that's it.
question.
Miranda? Yes.
When do you think we should be reaching out to the people who are on the list for the program to see if they are willing? You know, do you have like a timeline on that?
Well, I want to have this meeting first, and I don't think I heard any opposition. I heard some other suggestions. So I think now it's really the time. And maybe actually people who are leads on this should be invited to this kitchen cabinet. Now that I think about it, right? Y'all think about that.
Yeah. Do you have a cadence to which you're trying to set these meetings? A frequency?
Do I have a what?
A
A
cadence or a frequency of when you're setting these meetings?
I don't.
Okay.
Do you have a recommendation?
Well, you know,
We don't need a lot of meetings either. I just
no,
wanted to,
no,
but I will
I
make this
don't.
list interactive now. Before I was not, I will make this interactive, meaning putting everybody's email in the thingamajigam.
Okay, that's yeah, and I'm just wondering, like, not necessarily the timeline, but most likely a deadline. Like by this time, all the people I would have reached out to, you know what I mean? So then that way, you know, it, not so strict, but at least you have a set date when you're trying to make sure, you know.
So I will say, I want everything solidified by the end of March, which means the leads would have reached out to who's going to be in DC, who's going to be on the stage flanking them. If there'll be speakers in addition to the lead speaking, for example, state and commission, I mean, local commission task forces, there's so many. How are you going to choose? We know Robin will be leading, that they'll be speaking. Should she be the only person speaking on that? Or should there be some other, ones as well? The same as legacy organization, same as allied organization. So those are decisions that we're going to have to, that I really want the lead to, and the lead needs to know who's coming from in their particular area. And like some suggestions gave in terms of faith, all that needs to be flushed out. What are the faith organizations that, you know what I'm saying? And the like. So I can't say right now what the cadence is going to be or anything like that. I'm personally have well, don't worry about that, 3-week sabbatical in New Mexico from March 18th to April 9th. Oh no, it's crazy. Well, I'm supposed to be unplugged from everything. That ain't gonna happen. And they better have internet service down there in New Mexico. But anyway, we're gonna make this happen. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. I taped this and I will make sure that everyone gets a copy of the tape. And if it's nothing else,
Will we get copies of those documents or access to those documents, even if it's just read only? Thank you.
yeah, sure. I don't know how comfortable I feel about their draft budget.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but all the other documents, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
And
how
that's it for me, I promise, because I do have another meeting to jump on to. So
okay, yeah. I gotta go too. Yeah. Okay, love you all. Thank you so much for joining. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.
Peace, y'all.
Recording, stop recording.